All right, what is up, team? So this video is a recording because the live video that I did yesterday, my internet kept cutting out and the video was all over the place. It didn't sound good. I didn't even want to watch it, and I kind of like watching myself. So I'm re-recording and submitting this in lieu of the video that we had yesterday. Yesterday's topic that I posted that I was very passionate about was not giving up on your nutrition goals right now. I am part of a coaching group online through Precision Nutrition, and we've been discussing all week how a lot of our clients have asked to put their coaching on hold or even wanted to cancel because they've been overwhelmed with what's going on, and they have felt like they couldn't prioritize their nutrition. And it's frustrating because this is the time more than ever that personally I feel like, and I know a lot of other coaches feel like, this is when you guys need to have your nutrition on point more than ever. We are in a situation where you want to have as best of health as you can, as good a health as you can, so that you have a strong immune system to fight off COVID. And we want to have those habits in place so you're not snacking or using food to manage your emotions. I have personally offered for all of my current coaching clients to give them free coaching if they needed to cancel because of finances, because of course layoffs and income uncertainties. So when you do that and then you have the client that doesn't want to keep going because they don't feel like they can put their nutrition as a priority, it's frustrating because I very much care about the clients I work with, and I very much care about the hard work that they've put in, and I don't want to see them backtrack or lose that hard work because they feel like they can't make their nutrition a priority. The thing is, you guys have to eat. Eating isn't an option, right? Like, if we don't eat, we starve. And I have pushed really hard with all of my coaching clients, and it's the message that I try to put out to the public in general and to everyone I interact with, that nutrition isn't something that we use to get physique results. Our physiques evolve because we have our nutrition on point. And at the end of the day, we have this opportunity to learn these foundational habits that are going to be with us the rest of our lives. So I'm not trying to get people to lose weight right now. I'm not trying to get people to get abs right now, especially if we don't have that solid foundation in place. I want people to learn how to eat for their health. And then when they figure that out, and when we've got them in a place where that's relatively intuitive, then we can move towards getting abs or leaning out or, getting things dialed in even better. So having someone tell me that they don't want to focus on their nutrition right now is kind of like saying someone doesn't want to sleep right now. Like, it's not an option. You guys have this opportunity to take the time to build out some awesome, simple nutrition habits just by focusing on 3 things. Getting your vegetables is not an option. Getting a clean protein source, whether you're a vegan or a meat eater, it doesn't matter, and consuming a carbohydrate source. And now there are, of course, nuances to that, figuring out what carbohydrate sources that you're supposed to be eating and when. I get that. I understand that gets complicated, but at the foundational level, going back to that, carbs are just a fuel source like potatoes, rice, pasta, bread, fruit, right? So I'm not trying to nitpick right now. I'm not worried about whether you choose white rice or enriched pasta or oranges as your carb source. What I want to focus on first is having you guys get those veggies in. Very important, 3 to 5 servings a day, non-negotiable. getting in some carbohydrates. I mean, I just got off the phone with a coaching client and I told her I'm okay if she eats potato chips with her lunch. Like that's not what I'm worried about. Where I start is getting my clients to eat consistently and eating the macro or eating the intake for their bodies, for their current needs. Once we get that established, then we figure out, okay, is there a better choice than potato chips? But if I don't have anything to work with to start, then if I try for perfection right off the bat, then I have people that fail because asking for perfection initially is just unrealistic. Actually, asking for perfection at all is unrealistic. So, I want you to step back and to recognize, again, that you have to eat. It's not an option. We have to do it, right? And you know intuitively what you're supposed to be eating. And I'm not saying like wondering how many calories you're supposed to be getting in. I'm saying, I tell my coaching clients quite often, if I was on their shoulder, they had this little Shauna on their shoulder, and they were in a situation where they have the option to eat the Fritos or the apple, what's that Shauna on their shoulder going to want them to choose, right? And maybe it's a combination of both. Maybe they need those carbs and that salt and that fuel source because they skipped lunch, right? But how if someone was watching you, how do you think you should be eating? And you know those options, you know intuitively what's right. Because when I do my intakes and when I talk to people on the phone and when I interact with people and we go over their food journals or we discuss, how they've been eating in the past, they tell me, well, yeah, I probably shouldn't have eaten that, or I probably should be eating this. And again, like, I'm not talking about details and nuances. I'm not worried about how many grams of something you're getting. I'm worried about foundation. And I want you to take this opportunity to build that foundation. I want you to recognize that there's never gonna be a good time to figure out your nutrition. Life always gets in the way. No matter what, no matter who you are. I am a nutrition coach. I'm a competitive CrossFitter. I live and breathe this world, and there are times when my nutrition is not perfect, when it goes off track. I probably had way too much ice cream over the last 2 weeks, and I even had some cocktails because of the stress and because I'm not perfect, and that's okay, because it isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. But when that happens, you just pick yourself up, you slip, and then you get back on the horse. And it's not about always being able to stay on the horse. It's about how it's about how consistent you can be over that long term and how solid is my foundation. And one of my clients, I challenged her, I said, imagine if over this next 4 to 6 weeks, we stay consistent with our goals and we figure out what eating for your goals right now looks like and what that solid foundation looks like. Imagine how strong your habits are and how empowered you're going to feel when we get done with all this, because this is temporary, right? We get done with this. Now you've built that amazing foundation that weathered a very, very scary, strong storm. Now when little storms come in like, your kid's homesick from school, or you have a meeting through lunch, or you forgot to pack your lunch. When those little storms happen, you have that incredible foundation that it's just a blip on your radar. It's no big deal. I have a woman I follow. Her name is Lori Christine Kang. She's on Instagram. Highly recommend following her, whether you are a woman or not. She focuses a lot on women's hormones. But one of the things that she talks about is, if she has someone coming to her and she wants them to, they want her to help them lose weight, or get abs or things like that. Abs is always a big one. And she tells them, and she tells her following, that I tell them if they don't have a solid foundation in place, they haven't earned the right to get abs. And I very much support that statement, and I very much have, I guess, sort of stolen that statement, and I use it with my own clients. If you do not have a solid nutrition foundation, if you want to default to going back to bad eating habits when things get tough, then how am I supposed to help you get abs if abs require minimum 3 to 6 months of consistency and getting things super dialed in and sacrifice, right? And that's the thing that people don't want to acknowledge. And I get that changing habits is hard, especially as adults. I get that getting outside of your comfort zone is hard. And when I say comfort zone, I don't mean you're comfortable where you are and you feel good where you are. I'm saying you're comfortable, you've gotten comfortable being uncomfortable. You've gotten used to this cycle that you're in of eating poorly, feeling bad, trying to eat well, giving up, eating poorly, feeling bad, trying to eat well. You're so used to this cycle that you want to stay there because you're familiar with it, rather than take the steps to figure out what are the small habits I need to address now and build that foundation so that I don't have to stay in the cycle and so that I can get out of it. That requires being uncomfortable. It requires acknowledging where you're at and making adjustments to your life right now, which are scary and uncomfortable. And it requires dealing with who you are. It requires acknowledging that, you know, maybe you do use food to make yourself feel better. Maybe you use food as love for other people in your lives. It requires addressing your relationship with food. And all of those things are not even so much work, they're just uncomfortable. But, boy, I can hold my breath for a long time when I talk. All of that being said, this is the opportunity to do that, guys. This is that opportunity to take that time. We have a whole lot less distractions because we're home. We have a whole lot more opportunity to eat mindfully and not in front of a screen. We have that opportunity to reach out to other professionals. I'm home. I'm trying to make myself available as much as I can to my nutrition clients. And even not my nutrition clients, just on social media. You know, you can access me a whole different bunch of ways if you want help. So there's lots of resources available right now, especially if you want to make those changes. There's tons of people providing lots of content on all the different platforms. You have the opportunity to do this. You have really everything you need at your disposal. And even if you're in a situation where you feel like, okay, you know, the grocery store doesn't have what I'm used to eating, that's okay, because now is that opportunity to figure out, when I go to the grocery store, what are the things that I can eat? What are the things that little Shauna on my shoulder would want me to eat? What are the things that I know are good for my body and I should be eating? And then, okay, so I don't like vegetables. Well, Coach Shauna said, gotta eat your vegetables. How do I get them in? What are the ways to get them into my diet every single day so that I enjoy my meals? How do I hide them? I teach my adult children because we are adult children, right? We a lot of us grew up not liking to eat our veggies, and so now we struggle with them because they don't taste good. So when, you know, I have a 5-year-old that I'm trying to get to eat veggies, what do? I dip them in ranch. I, you know, hide them in macaroni and cheese. That's okay. You need to figure out how to do that now for you so that you can get those veggies in. If it's a salad that is covered in cheese and croutons and dressing, that's okay. We'll get those details ironed out later. But right now, I just want you to eat the salad. You know, put veggies on your pizza. Put veggies in your pasta. Instead of having your beef bacon double cheeseburger wrapped in a bun, wrap it in some lettuce. It's messy, but it works, right? Like, let's figure out ways that you guys can get those veggies in. Let's figure out ways that you can eat your protein consistently, 2 to 3 meals a day. And then once we get that awesome, consistent foundation, then we will figure out what are the tweaks that we can make to help you lose the weight and get your physique dialed in even more. And a little asterisk to that, to the lose weight component, a lot of people lose weight not because of keto or macro counting or tracking or, you know, intermittent fasting or any of those things. A lot of people lose weight because they are now paying attention to what they're eating. And, you know, I'm macro counting, so I'm not going to eat that donut because it's 300 calories and it doesn't fit my macros. I'm, you know, going vegan, so I'm not going to eat that 1,000 calorie double cheeseburger with bacon because it just doesn't fit with my new style of eating, right? So I've eliminated 1,000 calories from my diet. So you are going to lose weight, you're going to start feeling better, you're going to sleep better, you're going to your fitness will feel better because you are now paying attention to how you're eating. And I also acknowledge that it takes a little bit of mental energy, but trust me, you use just as much mental energy resenting how you feel in your clothes, feeling crappy all the time, wishing that things could be different. Imagine if you took all of that mental energy that you spend on that and you just refocused it to eating veggies and eating consistently and, you know, thinking about, well, maybe instead of this donut, I could eat a banana. This is doable, guys. It's totally doable. Trust me. I spent from 14 until 25 drinking and doing drugs and smoking cigarettes. I've been there with my own addictions and my own challenges. I started becoming a nutrition coach for 3 reasons. My brother struggled with food and he became morbidly obese. And when he finally wanted to make a change in his life, he had gastric bypass surgery, which then he became an alcoholic. And I saw that and I decided that I wanted to help people before they had to get gastric bypass and become alcoholics. I had my own allergies that I wanted to deal with, and when I went to a Western medicine doctor, they wanted to give me topical steroids and oral steroids, and I said, no way, I'm going to figure out what are the causes. So I started to understand the connection between what I put in my body and the result of that. And then the third reason is because when I was in my 20s, I spent most of my 20s dieting, even at one point being bulimic, because I thought my worth was completely connected to what I looked like, and it's not at all. It has nothing to do with what I look like. My worth as a human being is because I'm human. That's it. And then everything beyond that is just extra. So when I learned that I needed to fuel my body correctly and I fuel my body for how I want to live in this world, everything changed. I am the fittest, the leanest, and the happiest I've ever been in my entire life because I changed my relationship with food. And that is my mission in life now moving forward, is to help others develop that positive relationship and to teach them and show them how creating that amazing foundation of good foods will literally change who they are and change their lives moving forward. So that is my my soapbox for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I mentioned before, I am available on every single platform you can imagine. Message me, email me, text me, call me, FaceTime me. I am here to help you guys through this. I am here in any capacity to make this doable for you. But bottom line, team, do not give up on your nutrition goals right now. Figure out how you can stick to them, and let's do this so that we all come out healthy and happy. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit the like button and feel free to comment down below.